She died in his arms, but 2 weeks later, her car showed up in another city, and there was another woman inside it, lifeless too. So who was she, and why was she in a dead woman's car? This is not just a sad story, it's a nightmare that's still unfolding. A 42-year-old woman dies in a car crash on her way to Manchester. Her husband, in tears, mourns her. But just 2 weeks after her burial, the same Cybertruck she died in reappeared. And this time, another woman was inside, also dead. Now the big question is, was she ever really dead? Or is something far more twisted going on? David Thompson is a 45-year-old electrician from Leeds. He's a quiet man. People in his neighborhood say he always waved and smiled at everyone. He had been married to Mary Thompson, a beautiful, kind, and hardworking woman who was just 42. They had no kids, but they loved each other deeply, or so David said. On June 2nd, they were driving to Manchester to attend a friend's birthday party. David said it was raining heavily, and while they were passing through a lonely road near Huddersfield, the car skidded. David survived the crash with a broken arm and some bruises. But Mary, she was declared dead on the spot. Everyone was heartbroken. Her body was taken to the morgue, a funeral was done quickly, and she was buried in her hometown. David cried the whole day. He even fainted during the burial. But things changed just 2 weeks later. A Cybertruck, the exact same one they had the accident in, was found parked in a quiet alley in Liverpool. When the police checked the car, they were shocked. There was a woman inside. She wasn't breathing. At first, they thought it was a homeless person who had died inside the vehicle. But the shocker? It was the same car. Same license plate. Same scratches from the accident. But this car was never towed, never reported missing, and strangely, there was no blood inside. Even stranger, the new woman inside was not Mary. Her name was Amanda Lake, a 36-year-old woman from Bristol. No one knows how Amanda entered the picture. She wasn't connected to Mary. She wasn't even on the radar. And then, when the coroner examined Amanda's body, something strange came up. Amanda didn't die from natural causes. She had been poisoned. And that's where everything started to fall apart. When police tried to pull up records of the original car crash, there were no official towing reports. The hospital report said Mary was unresponsive, but no autopsy was done. She was buried fast. Mary's grave? When checked, it was empty. And finally, Amanda's phone had a last text. "I'm here." He said he'll explain everything. Just wait inside the car. Mary was declared dead in a car crash. 2 weeks later, the same car is found with a different dead woman inside. That woman was poisoned. Mary's grave is empty. Amanda was told to wait in the same car. But, so now the police are asking, is Mary really dead? Who poisoned Amanda? And most importantly, who's driving the Cybertruck? Because surveillance from the street shows the car being parked quietly at 3:17 a.m. But the driver was never caught on camera. Mary Thompson was declared dead in a car accident on June 2nd. Her husband, David, survived and buried her within 3 days. But 2 weeks later, the same Cybertruck they had the accident in was found parked in Liverpool. Inside was another woman, Amanda Lake, dead from poisoning. Mary's grave was found empty. CCTV shows the Cybertruck was parked at 3:17 a.m., but no one saw who was driving. Now, the question on everyone's lips is Mary still alive? Or is something far more evil going on? After Amanda's body was found, police brought in her belongings. Her purse contained a train ticket from Bristol to Liverpool and a small piece of paper. On it, just 2 words were written: "Trust David." That was the first time David Thompson's name came up in the investigation again. When police went to his house to question him, he looked genuinely confused. "I've never met any Amanda in my life. I don't even know how the car got there. I saw that car crushed and gone. I was there when they pulled my wife's body out of it." But then the officer asked, "Do you remember what happened after the crash?" David paused. He looked away and said something chilling. "It was raining. I blacked out after I saw her eyes close. Then I woke up in the hospital bed." That's when doubts began to creep in. Because according to the EMT report from the crash, David was conscious when they arrived. He even called Mary's name over and over. So what's the blackout he was talking about? Investigators pulled David's call logs. A strange number showed up 4 days after Mary's funeral. The number wasn't saved, but it appeared 9 times over 3 days. Each call lasted just under a minute. They traced the number. It belonged to a burner phone bought in Manchester, 2 days before Amanda was poisoned. Even more strange, when they traced Amanda's last known location before she entered the Cybertruck, CCTV showed her talking to a woman in a green hoodie, same height, same body frame as Mary. The woman had her hood up, glasses on, and never faced the camera. But Amanda was smiling like she knew her. The Cybertruck itself had a secret. When the police did a deeper sweep of the vehicle, they found a small tracking device hidden underneath the seat, the kind usually used by private investigators. When they accessed its GPS history, it showed something terrifying. The Cybertruck never stayed at the crash site. It had traveled across multiple towns after the supposed accident. And get this, it stopped at a warehouse in Manchester the night of Mary's funeral. Social media exploded with theories. Some believe Mary faked her death and used Amanda to cover her tracks. Others say David is running a secret life and Amanda was a side piece. But then a new voice came out, Amanda's sister, Rachel. She posted a video crying, saying, "My sister was in love with someone. She said he was married but unhappy. She said they'd be together soon. That he was leaving his wife, or maybe his wife was already gone." That statement shook everything. Just as the police were preparing a warrant to arrest David for questioning, a parcel arrived at the Leeds Police Department. No name, no return address. Inside was a USB flash drive. On the screen, one folder, "Watch this alone." They opened the video. It showed a woman sitting in front of a camera. Same eyes, same nose, same voice. It was Mary Thompson. She looked into the camera and said, "If you're watching this, it means you're looking for the truth. But be warned, the truth might bury more people than it saves." And then the screen went black. No one knows when that video was recorded. No one knows where Mary is. And now, David's phone? Switched off. Mary Thompson, 42, supposedly died in a car accident. 2 weeks later, her Cybertruck was found parked in Liverpool with another dead woman, Amanda Lake, inside. Amanda was poisoned. Mary's grave was found empty. A strange woman in a hoodie was seen with Amanda before her death, and her build looked like Mary's. A USB was sent to police, and it had a video of Mary alive. The police immediately tried to trace the location of the USB delivery. The post office report said it was dropped in a mailbox near Old Trafford, Manchester, at exactly 2:04 a.m. The camera footage there was foggy and broken. All they could see was a figure in a raincoat with gloves on. The only thing clear? The person walked away on foot and never looked back. Now the big question was, if Mary is alive, is she hiding from someone? Or is she planning something bigger? The next morning, David was picked up for questioning again. This time, they asked him one thing directly. "Where is Mary?" David's face turned pale. He leaned back and whispered, "I buried her. I swear I did, unless someone switched her out before the funeral." The officer leaned forward. "Switched her out? What do you mean?" David looked terrified and said something no one expected. "I never saw her face. They said her body was too damaged. They told me not to open the casket." The room went cold. So the casket that was buried was never confirmed to be Mary. Later that day, Amanda's sister, Rachel, brought Amanda's old laptop to the station. She said, "She backed up everything on here. She told me if anything ever happened to her, check her notes app." When police opened it, they found a file saved as MD the Plan. Inside were chat logs. It was Amanda chatting with someone saved as, and the messages were chilling. Amanda, "So after the crash, then what?" You'll take my place. He'll think it's all over. Then we start again." Amanda, "He won't recognize me?" He won't even see your face. Just trust me." That's when it hit them. Mary and Amanda were working together. But somewhere along the line, Amanda died, and Mary vanished. But Was Mary using Amanda to escape her own life? Or was Amanda planning something else? Remember the GPS tracker inside the Cybertruck? One of the stops it made was to an abandoned warehouse in Ancoats, Manchester. Police got a warrant and went in. What they found inside sent chills down everyone's spine. A mattress on the floor, half-empty food tins, makeup kits, a wig, a fake ID card with Amanda's face, but the name said Mary Dawson. And taped to the wall, a list with 2 names, Amanda Lichted, David Thompson. Next, just as police were about to close up the warehouse, an officer found an old iPhone under the mattress. It was locked, but plugged in. When they powered it on, a text popped up instantly. From unknown. You promised she'd disappear. Why is the police involved now? Another one. Plan B starts tonight. Get ready. So now the questions are even darker. Who is the unknown sender? What is Plan B? And is David really the victim, or just the next target? Because when police got back to David's house that night to check on him, he was gone. His phone? Smashed. His car? Missing. Only one thing was left on the table. A note that read, I should have asked what really happened that night. Mary Thompson died in a car crash, buried within 3 days. 2 weeks later, her Cybertruck was found with Amanda Lake inside, poisoned. Mary's grave was empty. A USB was mailed to the police, showing Mary alive. Amanda had been communicating with someone named M, who we now believe is Mary. A warehouse connected to Mary had a hit list. David, Mary's husband, has now vanished. The police found a note on his table. I should have asked what really happened that night. David was gone. Vanished. No security camera caught him leaving. No neighbors saw him pack. His bank account was untouched. The only clue was a single transaction. A one-way train ticket to Birmingham, purchased 2 hours before police arrived. But when police checked the train station's CCTV, it wasn't David boarding that train. It was a woman. Hoodie, sunglasses, luggage, and most chilling, she was dragging David's travel bag. The iPhone found in the Manchester warehouse finally unlocked. It revealed several audio recordings. In one of them, Mary's voice can be heard whispering. Amanda's getting impatient. She wants to be seen. She wants him to choose. But I didn't come this far to disappear alone. Then came another voice. Not Amanda. Not Mary. Another woman. Her name? Juliet. She said, you promised me he'd be mine. You told me Amanda was just a decoy. Now she's dead and he's running. This wasn't the plan. The police had no record of a Juliet connected to the Thompsons. No friends. No relatives. No colleagues. So who was she? And how was she involved? 2 days later, a woman was spotted near David's old workplace. She was caught on camera slipping an envelope under the door. When police retrieved it, the envelope contained a photograph of David, blindfolded, a torn piece of his shirt, and a phone number written in lipstick. They traced the number. It pinged at an abandoned farmhouse 40 miles outside Leeds. SWAT moved in. The place was cold, empty, but not untouched. In the living room, written across the mirror in red was, you buried the wrong woman. Fingerprint tests on the wine glass in the farmhouse confirmed something shocking. The woman calling herself Mary was not Mary. Her fingerprints belonged to a woman named Elena Morris, who went missing in 2017. But she looked like Mary, spoke like Mary, had Mary's documents, cards, and voice. So where was the real Mary Thompson? And then, something happened that blew the case wide open. Back at the station, a delivery truck arrived. No sender. No driver. Just a sealed black box. Inside it, a portable hard drive. A burner phone. A sticky note. You want to know the truth? Watch the footage. But make sure you're alone. The footage showed night vision camera clips from the original crash. Multiple angles. Not from police. From inside the Cybertruck. And what the police saw next changed everything. It showed David driving. Mary sitting beside him, smiling. Amanda was in the back seat. Yes, all 3 of them were in the car. David shouts, "Stop talking like that. It's not funny anymore." Mary replies, "You don't get to choose between us. You already did that when you cheated." Then, the car swerves. Not because of the rain. Mary grabs the wheel. The crash wasn't an accident. It was staged. Just before the video ends, someone is seen dragging Amanda's body out of the car, while Mary and David lie unconscious. The person looks directly at the dashcam. It's Juliet. She walks over, stares into the lens, and says one word: reset. Then the screen goes black. Now the case is no longer just about a woman who faked her death. It's about a group of women with one plan, one obsession, and one target: David Thompson. But the problem is, they might not be done yet. And nobody knows who Juliet really is, only that she's still out there watching. Mary Thompson died in a crash, but her grave was later found empty. Amanda Lake was found dead in Mary's car 2 weeks later, poisoned. A video showed Mary alive, but later it was discovered that Mary was actually a missing woman named Elena Morris. Amanda, Mary, and a third woman named Juliet were involved in something deeper, a plan involving David. A hard drive revealed dashcam footage showing that all 3 women were in the car the night of the crash. Mary intentionally caused the crash. After the crash, Juliet appeared on camera, dragged Amanda's body, looked into the lens, and said one word: reset. Now, everything is broken and David is missing. 3 days after the footage was leaked, everything went quiet. No updates, no sightings, no leads. Until one night, a young man was arrested in London for trespassing at an old post office. He claimed he was chasing a woman in a red coat, who vanished behind a wall. Police checked the building. They didn't find the woman. But what they found behind that wall was something no one could explain. Behind the crumbling bricks was a metal door, bolted shut with rusted locks. Inside the room, a red mattress, 3 wigs on a mannequin head, walls painted in women's names, all crossed out, and a corkboard with the title, The Reset List. On the list were 7 names: Amanda Lake, Elena Morris, Mary Thompson, David Thompson, Juliet, circle around her name, unknown target B. Next to David's name was a post-it. He woke up. That same night, the Leeds police station received a call from a burner line. No voice, just background noise. Then faintly a whisper: "Tell them I'm not the victim. I'm the bait." Call ended. They tracked the call. It came from a moving car, last seen 10 miles outside Brighton, heading into the woods. When a search team was sent there, they found a campsite. Still warm, still smelling like food. But no one was there. Only a note burned halfway through, and it read, "She's building something, and I don't think it's just revenge anymore." At this point, the internet took over. A Reddit thread exploded with a theory. Juliet is not just a woman. She's the leader of a secret group of women who fake their deaths to escape men and punish them. They don't just disappear. They reset. They become someone else. And if you ever come looking, you're next. The name people began whispering across social media: the Reset Circle. A journalist named Clara Ayres decided to investigate the old apartment block where Elena Morris used to live before she went missing. There, she found something chilling: a storage unit rented under the name J. Rivers. Juliet Rivers. Inside were hundreds of files, documents, photos, men's names, women's faces. Some faces had red lines drawn over their mouths. Others were circled, like targets. One file stood out. The title read, "David Thompson, Phase 3 begins when he runs." And a sticky note under it simply said, "Don't look for Mary. She'll find you when it's time." Back at the farmhouse, remember the one where the glass had Elena's fingerprint? Police revisited the site for a full sweep. In the basement, behind a loose panel, they found a second USB drive. They played it. It was dark. The camera shook as someone walked through a tunnel. Then, a flash of light. A face appeared. It was David. He looked weak, dirty, but conscious. And all he said was, "If you're seeing this, I'm not hiding. I'm running from something you can't fight. And they're not done with me yet." The screen flickers. Juliet's face appears behind him. She smiles, walks forward, and whispers into the mic. Phase 4 begins now. Now everyone's asking, what is Phase 4? Is David already dead, or is he being kept alive for something worse? And who are unknown targets A and B? Because the reset list had 7 names, and only 3 are dead. 4 are still out there. And no one has seen the real Mary since the crash. Or have they, and just didn't know it was her? Mary Thompson's death in a car crash was a lie. Amanda Lake was poisoned and found in Mary's Cybertruck 2 weeks later. Mary turned out to be a missing woman named Elena Morris. A third woman named Juliet Rivers emerged, leading what appears to be a group called the Reset Circle, a secret network of women who fake deaths and erase their identities. A hidden room revealed 7 names on a reset list. David's name had the note, "He woke up." David sent a video from a tunnel, warning that he's running from something you can't fight. Behind him, Juliet appears and says, Phase 4 begins now. The Reset Circle is no longer a theory. It's real. It's organized. And it has layers that go beyond revenge. Detective Miller, now leading the case, gave a secret interview to an independent podcast called Dead Ends. This is not about David anymore. It's bigger. It's global. These women have resources and followers. Real people willing to help them reset others, for a price or for justice. The Reset Circle is now believed to have cells in London, New York, Nairobi, and Berlin. And Phase 4? It has already started. And it's not about hiding. It's about recruiting. A security guard in Glasgow uploaded footage from a car park camera. A woman in a black coat stands under a dim light. She pulls out a small box from her bag and leaves it on a stranger's car windshield. She walks away without looking back. The car's owner later opens the box. Inside, a burner phone. A printed message. "They left you. We won't." And the Reset Circle's new symbol, a broken hourglass. Whispers now say that the Reset Circle doesn't just help women disappear, they assign justice. For women trapped in abuse, manipulation, or betrayal, the circle helps them vanish and start over. But in return, they must complete a task. One mission. One name. And when it's done, they're free. Juliet is at the center. Some say she was once a detective. Others say she was a victim. But no one knows where she is now. Only that she always appears. Just before the end. David's last known location was a service station near Wales. A trucker saw him, limping, hiding his face, asking to borrow a phone. The trucker says David whispered something strange before walking off. She said I was her practice round. That there were more. Better ones. Then David disappeared into the woods. No trace. No signal. But hours later, Juliet's voice note was emailed to the police. She said, "He's not dead. Not yet. But he saw behind the curtain, and no one survives that." Phase 4 is not about him anymore. It's about you. You watching. You searching. You thinking you're safe. Later, a new file was dropped anonymously into the Leeds police system. It showed the updated reset list. Amanda Lake, Elena Morris, Mary Thompson, David Thompson, Juliet Rivers. Target A, Clara Ayres, the journalist who leaked Juliet's identity. Target B, you? Yes, the file said you. A new USB was delivered to Detective Miller's home. On it was just one video. A dark hallway. Footsteps. A door opens. And then, Mary Thompson. The real one. Her hair is shorter. She's bruised. Her eyes are filled with pain. She looks into the camera and says, "I never ran away. I never wanted this. But once you join them, you don't get to leave. Please, don't look for me. Don't trust Juliet. She's not saving women. She's building something. And it's coming. Now the world wants to know. What exactly is Juliet building? What is Phase 4 really about? And if Mary didn't run, was she taken? The Reset Circle has rules. It has followers. And now, it's watching everyone. They buried her once. But when her car showed up again with another woman's body inside, the truth came crawling out, piece by piece. What happened to Mercy wasn't just an accident. It was something much darker. Daniel sat on the edge of Mercy's grave. The silence was loud. It had been 4 weeks since the Cybertruck was found again. 4 weeks since another woman, unknown, was found dead in it. And 4 weeks since the police had been turning everything inside out. Their house, his phones, Mercy's journals, everything. But something changed. The forensics team came back with one final report. The DNA found under the nails of the woman inside the truck matched Mercy's sister, Lydia. Daniel couldn't believe it. Lydia? The same woman who had stood by him crying at Mercy's funeral? Detectives didn't waste time. They arrested Lydia, and during interrogation, the truth finally came out. Mercy was never meant to die that night. The Cybertruck's brake line wasn't cut, it was hacked remotely. Someone with access to the car's internal system had overridden the brakes. And that someone was Lydia. She had been secretly in love with Daniel for 15 years. She envied Mercy. She wanted Daniel, the kids, the house, everything. But Mercy found out about Lydia's feelings through an old diary Lydia had kept. That was the night Mercy called Lydia to confront her. Instead of apologizing, Lydia snapped. She didn't plan to kill her sister. At first. But Mercy threatened to tell everyone, including Daniel. That same night, Mercy and Daniel left for Manchester, and Lydia followed, tracking the Cybertruck through Mercy's synced account. On the lonely highway, she pressed a few buttons from her tablet, and Mercy's brakes stopped working. The crash was ruled an accident, until the truck came back. The woman found in the Cybertruck 2 weeks later? It was Lydia's close friend. The one person who helped her cover everything up. But Lydia, scared the woman would confess, decided to silence her too, and dumped her body in the very truck they had used. Daniel couldn't stop crying. His wife was killed not by a stranger, not by an enemy, but by her own blood, her sister. And now, she was gone forever. Their kids kept asking questions he didn't know how to answer. Why did Aunt Lydia do it, Daddy? He didn't know. Maybe no one would ever really know. The final scene. Daniel stood at a second grave now. One for Mercy, and one for her sister. 2 lives lost. One from jealousy, the other from secrets. The camera zooms in on Mercy's photo on the gravestone. Her smile is warm, but now it's just a memory.